Ready? Ready?
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the PVP Weekly Press Conference. I hope you all have a restful weekend and back to work this morning. Yeah, I'm smiling. With me here this morning is our General Secretary as usual. We'll be having 3 statements, after which we'll be fielding questions. Jess?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The first statement reads as follows. The People's Progressive Party recalls the recent motion tabled by the opposition, APNU, in the National Assembly, calling this time for the appointment of a commission of inquiry to investigate the shooting at a Partnership of National Unity group of protesters by ranks of the Guyana Police Force on December 6, 2011 in Georgetown. At that time, the protesters were engaged in an illegal possession since police permission was not granted. Our party wishes to state that the tabling of this motion is another deliberate and calculated attempt by the opposition to avoid having security-related matters come under the purview of the National Assembly, in which a motion was passed for the establishment of a Parliamentary Oversight Committee on the security sector. This, we believe, would provide the best mechanism for the resolution of security-related issues. Our party is not unmindful of the frequent opposition utterances on the importance of parliamentary committees to deal with issues which impact society. The opposition's reluctance to establish the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on the security sector is indeed mind-boggling. The PPP believes that partisan interest is the bedrock of the APNU's unwillingness to activate this very important committee. The opposition is fully aware that should such a committee be established, they would not have a free rein to launch their continuous attacks on the PVPC government and the Ministry of Home Affairs on security matters. Such wanton attacks, which have become characteristic of the opposition, seem to provide optimal gratification of their daily diet of verbal bombardment aimed at the government. It would therefore be challenging for the opposition to delink their ingrained proclivity for such actions and to replace it with professional behavior. More importantly, our party strongly believes that the main reason for the opposition's reluctance to have this oversight body in place is because this committee must be headed by a government minister. This obviously is not to the liking of the opposition, since their propensity is to dominate positions within the National Assembly, as is the cases of the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and the majority of parliamentary committees. Yet this is the same opposition which has the temerity to accuse the government of not engaging in inclusiveness. This is yet another example of the deceptive politics which the opposition continues to engage in under the guise of claiming to have Guyanese people's interests at heart. More so, it is a clear indication of the unwillingness to have a resolution to security-related matters institutionalized within the parliamentary framework. The PPP wishes to remind that the Disciplined Forces Commission report, of which the leader of the opposition was part of, had also called for the establishment of a security commission. It is clear, therefore, that Mr. Granger has options at his disposal. The opposition has no excuse for delaying the establishment of this Parliamentary Oversight Committee on the security sector, nor the Security Commission as called for by the Disciplined Forces Commission report. In this context, Mr. Granger must immediately let the public know which of these two bodies he wishes to be associated with. Our party takes this opportunity to reiterate its call for the speedy establishment of the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on the Security Sector and for the Speaker of the National Assembly to convene soonest a meeting of the parliamentary parties for this purpose. The PPP stands willing, as always, to provide any support that may be deemed necessary. The next statement reads as follows. The People's Progressive Party welcomes the decision by the Council of Legal Education to admit eligible students from the University of Guyana who are seeking admission to the Hugh Wooding Law School. This is indeed a step in the right direction, as Guyanese students generally are always known to do well at the Hugh Wooding Law School, and in numerous instances have made it to the honors roll. The party would like to take this opportunity to commend President Ramatar and Attorney General Nandalal for having successfully represented the case of all Guyanese students for admission to the law school. The PPP has always placed a high premium on higher education, which is a necessary prerequisite for national development. It is precisely for that reason why the PPP established University of Guyana in 1963, despite strong objections from the PNC and other prophets of doom. Today, the University of Guyana has expanded in the range of offerings and today boasts its own medical school and other faculties such as engineering, arts, social, and natural sciences. In addition, the current PPPC administration established the Berbice campus of the University of Guyana, which has made it possible for hundreds of Guyanese to access tertiary education within traveling distances. The PPP would like to call on the Council of Legal Education and the Hugh Wooding Law School to facilitate our students by making it possible for more Guyanese to gain entry into the law school beyond the existing quota, having regard to the growing demands for law graduates. The party is optimistic that it is only a question of time before the country, meaning Guyana, has its own law school, which will allow all Guyanese students who are desirous of completing the law program to be able to so do. Finally, the last statement is as follows. The People's Progressive Party last Friday wrote to the Elections Commission seeking an extension of the 6th cycle of continuous registration, which concluded on Saturday the 21st June 2014. Because it is concerned that there may be more than 8,000 transfers yet to be done, owing to the fact that there are numerous new housing schemes in all the coastal regions in Guyana and also in the hinterland, such as Regions 9. During the last 5 cycles of registrations, transfers were not done. However, this was accommodated in the 6th cycle of registration, but GCOM was unable to accommodate everyone to be on the list in the area in which he or she currently resides. According to GCOM, the 6th cycle of continuous registration, as of June 18th, the following transactions were done. New registrants, 13,023, of whom 11,544 have already been verified. Transfers, 1,662, owing to issues relating to change of address, etc. Corrections, 2,347, owing to change or corrections to existing registration information. Of concern, too, was the need for mobile units in many new housing schemes. The party, in a letter to GCOM dated 14 April 2014, proposed that mobile units be set up in the new housing schemes. However, the indications are that GCOM public relations was poor, and only a few persons were aware, and also the time when the mobile units were in the schemes. Many persons were at work. Further, as was stated earlier, transfers were not part of the previous cycles. Hence, it's a new initiative which should have had the support of wider publicity. The People's Progressive Party, through its own activists and supporters, estimates that the number of transfers yet to be done as per region are as follows. Region 1, 140. Region 2, 220. Region 3, 2,140. This region has 5 new housing schemes: Zeeluck North and South housing schemes, Tushan housing scheme, the Willing housing scheme, Parfait Harmony, and Bell West. Region 4, 2,940. This region has 9 new housing schemes: Soesdijk Ivan scheme, Diamond Grove housing scheme, Providence Horstelling housing scheme, Eccles new scheme, Monrepos housing scheme, Good Hope housing scheme, Fowles housing scheme, Hope Lowland, and Grassfield. Region 5, 324. This region has 4 new housing schemes: Experiment, Hope, Waterloo, and Block D housing schemes. Region 6, 2,170. This region has 4 new housing schemes: Number 76 housing scheme, Fort Ordnance housing scheme, Anchorville housing scheme, and Glasgow housing scheme. Region 7, 75. Region 8, 60. Region 9, 70. Region 10, 250, bringing a total of 8,389 transfers that are to be done. All the new housing schemes have a number of outstanding persons who require transfers. The People's Progressive Party wishes once again to urge GCOM to ensure that no one should be disenfranchised, so that when elections are called, whether local government or general and regional, everyone eligible to participate should be able to exercise his or her franchise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, GS. And there are the 3 statements. Now, can we take it one by one each?
All right. Yeah, I'd like to deal with the first one first. And that has to do with the motion on the shooting of the protesters. And you said that the protest was illegal, that there were no permission granted. I want to take you back to the Walter Rodney Commission, where Walter Rodney also held protests that weren't permitted. Whatever happened in the long run, the arrests and what have you were over criticized by the very party that is saying people shouldn't take part in illegal protests. Would you explain the contradiction?
I don't see any contradiction there, really, because I personally know that no permission was granted for the march on December the 6th. But I heard you say that during Walter Rodney's time, no permission was granted for marches that were led by probably the WPA.
And some by the PPP too.
Well, I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that. If you have any evidence to show that that took place, I would be willing to look at it. But I haven't heard that come out as yet in the COI.
No, not in the Chief, you know.
No. We can't go on the basis of...
We can go back to 1940 at Enmore Martyrs, the big march, all the way down from Enmore to the Urban Theatre. No permission was granted for that march.
The British colonial authorities set out not to grant permission for the Enmore Martyrs. No. But listen to me. Applications were made. The police denied the application.
This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, so what's the issue you're raising?
Well, I'm saying that many marches in this country weren't authorized, weren't considered legal. So why special emphasis on this one at which the people were shot?
Because I'm referring to a motion that Mr. Granger brought in the Parliament, so it is the focus of attention for the day. It's the flavor of the day. That is what I'm focusing on. I'm not generalizing on marches in general. I am focusing exclusively on the motion that Mr. Granger brought to the National Assembly on a specific activity.
Very early culturalist. So
Yeah.
on the same first statement, you made mention of the parliamentary oversight body.
Mhm.
What fuels your optimism that this body will achieve any of the objectives? And I ask in light of the fact that we have bodies such as the Economic Services Committee that rarely meets, the Public Accounts Committee that looks, seems not to make a difference because every year the Auditor General reports more or less say the same thing. I mean, why do you think the security body would make it that meaningful difference?
Because it has never been tried. It has never been given a chance to first come into existence, and as a result of that, it's a stillborn child. So we want the Parliament to deliver this child successfully. We want this child to be nurtured, and we want this child to be well fed. The systems are in place for that to happen, because this committee can invite security experts of their choice. It can call the Minister of Home Affairs, as they do in the United States, before the Senate committees and the House committees to give answers to questions. It can summon the Commissioner of Police. It can summon any of the heads of the joint services to answer questions from the members of this committee, which is tripartisan. So I believe that rather than expressing skepticism about the efficacy or the effectiveness of this body, my view is that give it a chance like peace.
So in my category, forgive me for not knowing, but why is it I don't know how the committee goes about being established, but I thought like you said that this was it seems like the onus is on the opposition to establish the committee.
No, the onus is not on the opposition. The onus is on the Speaker to call a meeting of the parliamentary parties, to summon a meeting of the parliamentary parties, so that they can determine who the chairman should be. Now, the chairmanship has to come from a government minister, has to be a government minister. That's what is clearly stated. And I suspect that the reason why they don't want this committee, or they're not pressing the Speaker then to call for this body to be, first of all, for the parliamentary parties to meet to establish this body, is because, according to the Constitution, this person or the chairman of that body must be a government minister, and they don't want that.
Which is you.
Huh?
Which would be you?
No, it doesn't say the Minister of Home Affairs. It says a government minister.
Has the PPP formally called on the Speaker to do this in writing maybe?
I think Mr. Scheer is a very active person in the Parliament.
You know,
I don't think that would have slipped her.
You better check.
No, I've checked.
She has written to the Speaker.
I am saying to you, Gail Teixeira, being an active government functionary and parliamentarian, you know, she's right now in Paris, in beautiful Paris, in the spring.
Yes.
So, in the same way she's active internationally, I know she's active nationally and in keeping with her responsibilities in the Parliament, where we all gather to parley.
I love it. So quickly, 8,389 transfers spanning the regions. I would like to assume that these were members of the PPP who were to be transferred.
No,
since you have the
public.
information.
No, these are people, you know, we are going around the country with the list. All political parties go around with the list to do the verification. And in that process, this is what we have come up with.
So the political parties shared information. For example, you would have found out some, AFC would have found some, APNO would have found some, and you all shared information for you to come up with this figure of 8,300.
With who? Share what information?
Well, I know you got a grand total of 8,000.
No, that is the, you didn't hear what I said? I said our.
Yeah, our
We
PPP.
don't pool our findings with the AFC and the APNU.
Right, good. So you come back to the question.
No. I thought you were saying that the PBPC, the APNU, and the AFC combine their findings and come up with this total.
That was after the first question. The first question was whether these were PPP people that you found. 8,389.
No, not. Listen,
All right.
these are people that we have found.
We PPP, good.
No. I never, don't put words in my mouth.
PPP from
Pueblo,
Yes.
Gente,
Uh-huh.
La Pop,
Go again, which one? La.
whatever word you want to call it in whatever language.
It's Spanish, yeah, go on. I understand you.
People. Right? These are people that have been found. I wouldn't want you to put words in my mouth to say
All right,
PPP
all right,
people.
all right.
These are potential voters then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Rohi, General Local Picture News, would this impetus to have these persons
Which
registered,
persons?
these people,
I love this boy.
the 8,389 people,
Mm.
to have them get the opportunity to be in the registration system,
Mm.
is that in any way an inclination towards the party possibly wanting to have elections anytime soon?
We want any kind of election, my friend. We are just chomping at the bits, if you understand what I mean. We are chomping at the bits. I won't want to say further than that, but whichever elections comes, we're ready. We are ready.
And sorry, why are we still at it? With all these
While we're
whole-
still at it, what?
The whole question about people transferring new housing schemes.
Oh, he was talking about election.
No, I mean, same thing. Police can be involved in that too. We come to the issue of these new housing schemes.
Right.
Is there an onus on the Home Affairs Ministry to ensure that there are more police outposts and all of that? As people shift, you need to ensure law and order in these areas. You put it in your head that you've got to set up outposts around this place.
No. I don't see any nexus whatsoever between elections and police
No,
action
not
and police
election, we
outposts.
talking about new housing schemes.
No, you made the nexus when you said it's all the same.
All right,
People,
let's,
elections,
scratch out-
police.
Scratch out election. We're done with election. Let me deal with housing scheme and police outposts.
Okay, fair enough.
With these new housing schemes being
Yeah.
set up, movement of people, has the Home Affairs Ministry seen the need, therefore, to move some police outposts into these new areas, stretching from Region 3?
When you say move some police outposts into, you mean they exist somewhere, so we want to
Well,
move
not
them from where they
necessarily,
are
but set up
to
them.
there?
All right, you're setting up any, Chief?
You have to be careful with the language, you
I
know,
know.
because,
It's
you
here
know,
to
I don't
frighten
know what
me.
it's leading to.
And they try, no, you're not frightening me, and you are.
Frightened?
I ain't setting you up.
No, we have received constant representation from residents in a number of housing schemes that have police outposts established. Not only those housing schemes, far-flung areas as well. So that, for example, in Hog Island, we receive representation from the residents there. They need a police outpost, and we have budgeted for 2 outposts this year. One in Hog Island and one somewhere else, which I don't recall right now. I think it probably could be Wakanam. No, Wakanam has a police station. Another island somewhere in the Esquibo, or some other part of the country. I don't recall right now. So we budget at least 2 or 3 outposts per year, because, you see, when we do this in consultation with the police because of the level of the establishment of the force. We have to do it together, because it makes no sense to run and establish an outpost and the police don't have the resources to run these outposts, nor vehicles, nor boats, or whatever is required. So we have to do these things in conjunction with each other's capacities. But yes, we do take into consideration the fact that they have these new housing schemes. and we need to go that way. However, you need to bear in mind that we have community police in almost every one of those housing schemes. And in the meantime, while those housing schemes are taken care of at the divisional level of the police structure, what assists tremendously is the presence of the community policing groups in those countries who are working in tandem with the Guyana Police Force at the divisional level.
Any other question? Yes.
I just want to ask a question, cricket matter outside of the statement. Cricket matter outside the statement.
Cricket.
Cricket. But before we come to that, I don't know if you want to
Let
add
us
something.
deal with all the statement and then we can.
No, it was just one on the police force quickly.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Luncheon recently said that the SOCU, the establishment of SOCU, is currently at the stage of recruitment.
Mhm.
And the office needs to be set up. I was wondering if you could give an update on what has the response been like in terms of persons looking to be a part of this unit, and has the physical infrastructure been put in place as yet at the commissioner's office?
Well, I understand. Well, most likely the applications would be going to force headquarters, and there must be a vetting process in place.
By who?
Huh?
By who?
The police would have a vetting process in place to deal with the applicants. Now, in terms of the physical infrastructure and so on, yes, I know that some progress has been made in that respect, but there's more to be done to bring it off the ground.
And while you're talking about that, the police force now got access to the special cameras, the CCTV.
Yes, they have a feed.
Lovely.
Mhm.
All right. Any other question?
Yes, I got it.
Yes, the cricket.
Mr. Roy, government is set to meet with the WACU tomorrow.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, the WACU officials. Please say what some of the proposals will be put on the table to have this matter solved out.
Well, from the little that I know, I hope that they'll be able to resolve some of the more outstanding issues. There is a bill that has been passed in the National Assembly with the consent of the opposition. I suppose that they will be discussing the implications of that bill vis-a-vis the West Indies Cricket Board of Control and the local partners here in Guyana. So there are a whole host of complicated matters that have to be sorted out. But what is clear is that the government has a bill that is yet to be assented to by the President, and I can only hope as a member of the public and as the General Secretary of the party that the discussion will be fruitful and productive.
You can say why the president hasn't accepted the bill. I'm just asking, I know, because I think he should.
I don't want to appear presumptuous. No, I don't want to have a problem with job security.
All right. Thank you all very much. Adam.
Oh,